This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
This is a Husky. Oh, what a good boy. Wait, no, not this. This is a Husky. It's a Switch from Kinetic Labs. Now, I thought Kinetic Labs had peaked with the Hipyo switches, and I was definitely right, they peaked with the Hipyo switches, but today we'll be taking a look at the Huskies. These goodest of boys are a linear switch, and they have a very long, peculiar spring that we'll talk about more later. Because I want to directly compare them to the Hipyo switches, I'll be building out my NK65 entry edition, and I'll put them to the test against a bunch of other linears, so stay tuned. Wait, guys, there's something in my Switch. Oh my gosh, it's that 79% of you aren't subscribed. That's crazy. We need to make that number lower. Please hit subscribe, it's free. Also, we hit 100,000 subscribers, and I literally can't thank you guys enough. I might have something special planned, but I really don't know yet. I kind of hit it too fast, but thank you. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. It's time to unbox or unwrap these Huskies. These were sent to me for free by Kinetic Labs to review, and they're one of my affiliates. If you'd like to purchase these switches, you can click that link down below and I will get a kickback. But how I normally do these reviews is I just review them however I want. Now, these little Huskies are a linear switch. If you don't know what linear switches are, basically when you press down the switch, it's smooth all the way down. There's no bump or feedback or anything like that. Now, Kinetic Labs has a trend of naming some of their switches after animals, such as penguins, hippos, and salmons. And these are no exception, being Huskies. Woof woof. They definitely look cute, but odds are you won't be seeing them in any build that you use unless you're using a low profile build. So it doesn't really matter. However, as I mentioned before, these have some special stuff inside. And let me just give this guy a little bit of pets and then we can break him open. Oh, that seems a little bit dark. Good boy. Anyways, to break these open, you just need a normal Cherry MX style switch opener. If your switch looks like it has a clamshell, that means you need a Kale style switch opener. These were actually a little bit harder to get open than normal because of the long spring, but oh, look at that boy, that's a long spring. Now that we've trimmed the Husky's coat, we could take a look at the Husky. These switches have been manufactured by Texi, but have a Kinetic logo on them. And the long pole and long spring are what make it relatively unique. Coming in at $45 US for 90 switches, it's priced exactly like the Hipyo. So I'm gonna say it's a direct competitor to their own Switch. Now, apparently these have been factory lubed with a little bit of oil, but I found the experience to be pretty bad unlubed. And I'd honestly recommend spending $5 more for the Duroc L series pictured here to the right. At least if you want a good stock Switch, this is definitely not it. But will it sound any good lubed? That's what we're gonna find out today. Also, putting these switches together is very, very frustrating, like oh my gosh. I had my good friend Barrett Creative, aka Toby from PBT Toby, lube all of these with Crytox 205G0. If you want to purchase any lubing supplies, they're in the description, so check them out. I think these switches could have a lot of potential lubed up, and we'll get to that just right after this.
Alfred, what are you doing? Are you stealing Hipyo keyboard?
Oh, hey Jim.
That's not very cool, my man.
I'm just borrowing Hipyo's keyboard to sell, because he said he'd make me money.
Well, you know what is cool? Squarespace.
Squarespace?
It'd be a great way for you to make money using their e-commerce section.
Oh.
Squarespace is the #1 platform to build a website online.
Is it easy?
It's incredibly easy to use, Alfred. Even you could do it. Look at this website that I built in under 30 minutes.
That's pretty good. Well, I guess I'll try it. Where do I go?
Click that link down below. Well,
wait, like...
Like down below you, I guess? You could start a free trial with that link down below at squarespace.com. Use code HIPYOTECH.
Okay, to save 10%?
10% off your first purchase.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you don't tell Hipyo that I stole his keyboard.
I'm still gonna tell Hipyo. Yeah.
Aww.
Thanks for watching that little ad. Stuff like that definitely helps support the channel, and I'm trying to make them a little bit entertaining for you guys, so I hope you appreciate that. Hipyo Cinematic Universe when? Anyways, like some of my previous builds, I've decided to opt for the NK65 entry edition, as I feel like it's a board that's representative of what the average Joe might have, as I feel like doing a sound test on a $400 keyboard is a little bit misleading for how the Switch is gonna sound. With a little bit of magic, we got, wait, that didn't work? Okay, there we go. Nice, good magic. So we've got all the switches on, which were easy to install. I feel like you guys don't need to see that. These are 5-pin switches, so they're pretty easy to install, and I didn't really have any trouble. And as I mentioned before, these have all been lubed with Crytox 205G0. I decided not to give you a stock sound test, as honestly, these were very, very pingy switches stock, and I wouldn't recommend anybody use them stock, especially when switches like the Duroc L series exist that are very good stock. Okay, so the switches look cute and they're bad stock, and we've got them lubed, which is very promising or something like that. But if a cute switch was all we needed for a switch to sound good, I feel like that'd be a lot easier than, you know, like engineering or anything like that. Okay, and you guys know what keycap is coming next, right? Place your bets, it's one of, oh yeah, it's that one. I'll be using the MA Profile Blue Cat keycaps, which are dye-sub PBT keycaps from Idobao. Now, I was gonna use a different keycap, but I've used these to compare most of my linear switches so far, so I feel like it's only fair. And the magic is done. There you go. Also, like, this is the only board that these keycaps really work with, I think. Like, the gold just matches perfectly. Mwah. Chef's kiss or whatever. So, what are my thoughts on these switches? That's what you're probably thinking right now. Like, oh, Hipyo, are these switches good? They're $45 for 90. Is that good value? Am I gonna go broke if I buy these? You know, the usual. Well, honestly, lubed, these switches were fine. And they really didn't knock my socks off, and they really weren't anything to write home about. But first, let me give you a little stabilizer sound test, and then I'll finish my thoughts. So the stabilizers were definitely interesting, and that brings us into our next point of contention. Comparison to other linear switches. Now I've got a gambit of lubed switches, and I'm gonna be putting these to the test. This isn't that representative of the sound, but it kind of shows my general thoughts. Keep in mind, different parts of the board can sound different, so this is more for just like a fun little video demonstration, I guess. I have all the switches labeled, and let me know what you think in the comments. So that was a lot of desk sound and not very helpful, so let's just put these little keycaps on real fast. As far as feel goes, they feel a tinge scratchier than Hippos, which feel a tinge scratchier than Tangerines. And honestly, I'd say they feel a bit worse than Gateron Yellows, but let's listen to them with keycaps on, eh? Because of their long spring, I feel like they have a very clacky, sharp return, and that kind of reminds me of the Matcha Linears, or like any JWK recolor, I guess. But as I mentioned before, these are a switch that look cool, but honestly, okay, listen, I'm a Hippo, so I'm incredibly biased here. I would recommend the Hippos over these switches any day of the week. Considering they're the same exact price, I think the Hippos just kind of represent better, if they're in stock. But that's really just me being picky. I feel like the difference between these two switches is like 4% at best, maybe 4%. Like in keyboards, we tend to exaggerate lots of things because we need to find significance in things. So like, yeah, sure, a switch feels exactly like another switch. The differences are very small in between these two switches. I'm mostly just ranting. I will say though, if you're trying to do a themed build and these kind of fit the color scheme, then go for it. Honestly, like you're not going wrong if you buy these switches. You can definitely make the judgment for yourself whether or not you like them, but these get the Hipyo good enough seal of approval. I know there's really not much you could do to make a linear switch interesting, as, you know, it goes down. That's what a linear switch does. But, you know, I'd admire some creativity, I guess. And like a long pull and a long spring, I guess that's about as creative as you can get, maybe? But I'll be leaving you guys with a sound test. Make sure you watch the whole thing to support my YouTube algorithm overlords, and also hit the like button and the subscribe button, please. Like really, they don't let me eat unless you watch the whole sound tests. Also, thanks so much again for 100k subs. It really blows me away that you guys support me so much. And thanks to the Hipyo's chosen members who hit the join button down below, like Xgo, Ecreation, Fenny, Joseph Krang, Rosie Ray, and Aquarius Keyboards. Bye.